This is the Tesla Model S Plaid 2021, all new redesign, new body, new interior, new motor, new performance. So we're going to get in this thing, we're going to take it for a spin, go through some of the features, and give you some of my overall impressions, especially since I drive a Tesla Model S, a 2015 Model S P85D. So one of the big changes is this steering wheel. They call it the Yoke, and there's no stalks to change gears, for blinkering, for windshield wipers. It's all either through the touch screen or it's on the little buttons right there on the steering wheel. Okay, if you see here, I'm trying to put it in drive. So on this white strip on the left side of the screen, I just push up and it puts it in drive. Push down, it goes in reverse. So that's kind of a big change in that there's no drive stalk to change from neutral, drive, park, reverse. It's just on that screen right off to the side of you. My overall impressions of just the seating position, that these seats are really comfortable. I really like this. These are a big upgrade from the previous generation Model S. So the seats are great. It's very comfortable. And not having that full steering wheel really gives you a very good view of the road. You don't have a steering wheel really obscuring your view over the dash. So that's the one benefit to the steering wheel is, this Yoke steering wheel, is that you have a better view. But I think that the rest of the features, I think, are more negative than they are positive here. A cool thing on the touch screen here, you can see under the climate control, you can adjust the airflow. So this is the same as like the Model 3 and Ys, where there's no visible vents. The vents are just like hidden under the gauge cluster or behind the trim. And you can adjust how the airflow comes out of those air slots. The resolution and the appearance and how the screen works and functions, it's really great. It's a big improvement over the horizontal 17-inch touchscreen that the Model S used to have. This is a lot more responsive. It really feels like an iPad. I mean, you can adjust your icons. You can, it has all of your features. You can drag and drop different icons on the access bar, so like moving your apps around. That's super awesome. And then just the responsiveness is so much better. Responding, the GPS loading, the pinch and zoom, it really is a great new touchscreen in the Model S. Okay, as I'm driving here, really my first impressions of this Yoke steering wheel, it's not bad when you're driving straight. I mean, my hand positions feels natural when I'm driving straight, so it's not a huge adjustment when you're driving straight. The big problem or the big adjustment is when I'm turning. So if I'm going to turn, if I have to do a U-turn or a full turn here, like for example, I've got to move. It's just weird moving a rectangular steering yoke instead of a round steering wheel. It really does feel kind of awkward. It doesn't move as easily as I thought it would. But when you're driving straight, though, that's really where it doesn't feel that bad. The big adjustment when it comes to the Yoke steering wheel is really not having the blinker stalk to be able to move that, or not even having the horn in the center like we're used to in every other car, where you push like the airbag and you're able to honk the horn. For example, when I want to turn, I've got to push these arrows on the steering wheel or on the steering yoke. I've got to push with my thumb, and I have to remember, which way is which. The problem too is just making if you're on the highway and you want to make just a slight turn, you want to just move over one lane and you just want the blinker to blink like 2 or 3 times. I don't know how to get it to do that yet. And that seems like it's going to be kind of a sticking point, is just the blinkers kind of worked sporadically. They didn't work consistently. I didn't know if I held down the blinker what that would do, or if I just touched it slightly. So I need some more time behind the wheel just to figure out all of the blinkering, signaling, because that really is a challenge when it comes to the Yoke. Okay, one interesting feature on the Plaid is if you go in here to the toy box, and you can set your horn for different sounds. So, for example, you can go to the boombox here, and you can make your horn do different sounds, like a fart sound, for example. Let's see if we can get this to record this. So instead of pushing the airbag, you push this little button here. It didn't really work as much as I thought it would. Like I had to hold it down or it wouldn't go when I pushed it. So that was kind of weird. Okay, taking a look at the outside of the Model S Plaid. I mean, this one's in black. This one looks awesome. So they've now blacked out all the chrome. The only chrome is just a little Plaid badge on the back of the car, but all the handles, the window trim, anything on the grill, Wheels are obviously black, but it just has a great look as far as the being all blacked out, all the trim, and it looks good in all the colors. So you see here's the little Plaid badge that's kind of chromed out there. So it really has a good aggressive look. It has a wider, more aggressive look. The front fascia, the front bumper and splitter really looks more aggressive. You can tell that it's a little bit wider of a car than the previous generation. It does have wider wheels and wider tires, you know, to get more traction with those higher accelerations that you have. So it does, I really like the look of the new Model S Plaid. I mean, even though it's just a subtle change, it is a nice upgrade. It is a nice looking vehicle. Okay, here on the touch screen, this does feel very similar to other Tesla models, for example, the 3, the Y, or the even the S and the X. So just all of your controls right here on the driving mode. It seems like it has a lot more options here. So like suspension has a lot more different settings. You know, here's your charging screen where you set your percentage, your battery limit. You can set your amperage that you charge your battery to. Unlock the charge port there. This will charge up to almost 340 miles. Autopilot screen, so a lot of the same things, adjusting the different autopilot. Locks, the lights, different lights, this display. Trips, this is just kind of your odometer and trips settings. Navigation screen. We have safety, service, roadside, different options here. So this one just has the full self-driving. It's got the premium audio. That's really one of the few upgrades, is just whether you want full self-driving or not on these Model S Plaids. Okay, so here we're on the drive screen. So when you put your foot on the brake, you have the option to push forward to go to drive. You pull back to go reverse, and then if you see at the very top left there's a P for park. So that's how you park the vehicle. You put it in park. So it's pretty simple. It's intuitive. It is kind of strange, and it does have the option to be able to determine or read what you want to do. So if there's an obstacle in front of you, it'll then put itself automatically in reverse because it knows you wants to reverse out of a spot, not bump into the thing in front of you. So that's kind of a thing. Here I'm just driving through the parking lot here, just kind of testing out some of the steering, low-speed steering maneuvers with this steering yoke. It's it does take some getting used to. It feels like it's more effort to turn because you have that big rectangular yoke to make these big turns. For example, when I'm turning like this, I like to turn, if I'm turning one-handed like this, my thumb seems, or even my whole hand seems to hit the buttons on there. I've actually turned the windshield washers on, windshield wipers, the washer fluid is sprayed on there. I've even inadvertently hit the blinkers just when I'm turning the vehicle. So it's going to take some learning of where to put my hands so that I'm not hitting the controls. So that I'm kind of relearning my driving position while I'm driving with this yoke. Okay, so here I give it just a little bit of acceleration. This is from 0 to probably 80 miles an hour in just a matter of seconds, and it just pulls like crazy. This thing is just ridiculously fast, even from just that 30 to 60 mile an hour range. Whereas a previous Tesla, like my 2015 Model S, really, once it gets probably to 50 to 60, it really tapers off as far as the G-force that's being creative and the speed. This thing just seems to keep going, and that really is impressive when this just not only accelerates extremely fast, but just keeps going past 60, 80, 100. It just keeps pulling like crazy. So we're going to see if we can get a couple pulls from a stop or a standstill, because that's really where this thing shines, is just taking off from a standstill and just hitting that 0 to 60. Okay, so here we're at a stoplight, and we got a wide open road. It's clear. I'm just checking to make sure we're clear here, and we're just going to let this thing rip, go full out Plaid mode launch.
Did you feel that? Isn't that nuts?
That's nuts.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Wow.
again.
That was absolutely
Do it
crazy.
again.
Did you like that, Zane?
Yes, do it again.
Tickle your belly?
No, tickle my ear.
Yeah. It'll do that.
Again.
Oh my.
Do it again. You can go. Go. You're super fast.
That's some serious force, huh?
Yeah.
Do it.
Look at your cheeks are like.
Again.
I
And
know.
do it again.
I know. I don't know if we'll have a chance to, Zane. That's like the kind of place you do those, is on like a big wide open road like this.
Okay, now that it's getting dark out, you see there's kind of a dark motif here on the screen, the dark gauge cluster. But here's the buttons for the turn signals. And then we have the lights, to flash your lights. We've got horn, cruise control, windshield washers, and voice command buttons there. And there's also two little scroll wheels of how you'd change like the volume and then also your autopilot, cruise control speeds, and so forth. On the door here, you have the push button. So this is like the Model 3 and the Ys, where you have just push button for the doors. So you push the button, it pops open. Okay, so I had my hand here, and I accidentally hit the windshield washer. So sprayed, and the windshield washers went on. So that's kind of something you got to be careful with, is not like putting your hands on these buttons. And I didn't even mean to. I just was kind of resting it right here, and I sprayed the washers. So okay, then down here below the screen, you do have two little spots to put your phones. You can charge them wirelessly. You can see there's a hazard button there. There's a new center console. This is a lot different than the previous Model S. Really is functional. It's nice that you can charge your phones wirelessly, setting it right there. I really like how the cup holder is set up. Sorry, this is kind of dark here. This is, but you have like a compartment down below the cup holders. The cup holders scoot back, and so you get access to stuff down in your compartment there. So you've got your a great storage area there. It can be covered, so it's really versatile in how you can use it and the functionality. So it's just not wasted space like it really was before in the Model S. Okay, so overall impressions, I love the car. The acceleration just makes up for any of these weird quirks that this car has with the steering yoke. The yoke is my only complaint about it. The yoke and the lack of stalks to change the drive and signaling and flashing lights and windshield wipers. I just feel like it's a little radical having the yoke and none of the stalks. So, but despite that, when you put your foot down on the accelerator on this car, all of that goes away. The horsepower, the torque of this car makes up for all of that. And it's an exciting, it's a fun car to drive, and this thing is awesome. So this is really just kind of my first impressions overview of the car. As we get using the car more and have some more experiences with it, we'll do some updated videos. But thanks for watching the video. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.